My name is
What are you doing, Bobby?
I don't
Get a
know.
grip, man.
I don't know. My name is Bobby.
My name is Bobby. Thanks for watching.
Wow. What is up, everybody, and welcome to episode 23 of the Geek Cast. I am Bobby, the Geek Guru, joined yet again my good buddy from the UK, Toby. What is up, buddy?
What is up? I'm doing very good, thank you.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
Yes, we hope you had a lovely time.
Yes, I know I did. I had
but he's sitting there in his Christmas hat and his Christmas top, and he's got his Rob lamp in the background.
Yeah, man, I'm set. I'm all geared up with stuff. I also got, you can't really see him, but Captain Toad custom amiibo right there.
Bring that over. Show people. I haven't seen it properly.
I'll show you later. What the hell?
I just thought people watching the video would appreciate it because you can't see it properly.
Hold on. But there you go. If you can see him.
That's cool. I love that.
He's really good, man. The only thing I don't like about him, and I'm going to do a video, my Christmas video of everything that I got. Mm-hmm. The only thing I don't like about him is they went a little overboard with the clear coat, and they got it on the base and stuff, and the base is a little sticky. So I'm going to actually go get some alcohol or something and get it off.
Why don't you just use a matte spray varnish and spray varnish it?
What will that do?
Because that will it will take any shine off it.
Well, I don't mind the shine on the character. I'm fine with the shine on the character. It's the base. So the base is kind of tacky. You know? Yeah. Like it's got that little sticky feel to it.
It might get rid of the stickiness as well, but I don't know.
I'm just going to take some rubbing alcohol and stuff and then polish off the base. And then if it's still, I'll do what I want to do with it. But yeah, it came out pretty good. I like it. It's they did a pretty good job with it. So I can't really complain with it. So
I am a bit jealous. I would like a Captain Toad.
Yeah, he's cool. She got him for me, so I'm happy with that. I got a lot of stuff, man. So all right, let's kick this episode off like we do every episode with our geek outs. And Toby, what are you geeking out about today?
I'm geeking out about Star Wars Episode 7. I went to see it this morning.
Right? Yeah, you went a little while.
I didn't get back that long ago. It was really good. I went to a little intimate small theatre that had a small screen, had a little Christmas tree in the corner, and it was nice. It was really nice. I had a coffee and some popcorn, just sat there, enjoyed myself.
That's all that matters. You went with your brother, right? You didn't go with Karina?
Yeah, because Karina was working. I don't know if she'd want to go anyway. But it was much better than I was expecting it to be.
I tried to go yesterday. We talked about this already, but I tried to go yesterday, and I left the house late, but I wasn't thinking as early as I was going that it would be packed. And I got there, and the theater was absolutely packed. And when I got to the door, there was about 5 minutes before it started, and the line was all the way out the door. And I just said, I didn't want to not enjoy the movie because I was aggravated with where I was sitting and all that stuff. So I figured I'm going to try to go back today, probably a little bit later.
Because the thing is, Bobby's got very specific requirements for where he needs to sit.
I do. Back row, middle. I have to sit there every time I go. And if I don't sit the back row, it's got to be in the middle. But I won't go any further than midway up the theater, or else I'll literally walk out of the theater. I won't stay. I don't know what it is. It's been that way since I was a little kid. Like, I gotta sit there. If I don't, I get aggravated. So, and I know me. I'll sit there and I'll be so mad the whole time, and I'll let that distract me. It's OCD. That's my one OCD thing in life. So,
I'm sure you probably got a lot more.
Maybe a couple, but that's about it. Myself, I mean, come on. I'm geeking out about Christmas. My wife totally hooked me up, and she does every year. It's not like it's a surprise to me, but she really, this year she threw some surprises at me that I didn't see coming, and just really let me between the Captain Toad. She got me the Kirby, like a diorama for display case.
Oh, that's lovely. Yeah.
That thing is gorgeous, man. That's really nice. She got me the Animal Crossing one as well. She got me the Mr. Game & Watch one, where it's kind of like a parachute, and it says, it's got a little placard that says Mr. Game & Watch, and you actually put Mr. Game & Watch in the middle, and then it has little slots for the other pegs to go. And so when you look at it, it's like all four of them up there. My mom killed it too. I got that Zelda strategy guide thing you got. The treasure chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that from my mom.
Yeah.
I got the gold Mario. This thing is awesome. It's I should probably show you that too, because you'll like that. Hold on.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
So for anybody that wants this, you can get it. It's it was actually put out in Japan only, and
it's shiny.
It's a gold Mario. I don't think it's real gold.
So it's not like gold plated.
It might be gold plated. I can't read Japanese, so I don't know what it says on the back, like on the stuff. But it's basically it's a Club Nintendo exclusive. It was put out with it says Nintendo World Touch DS Platinum Member Memorial. So this was basically back in 2009 or something like that. Nintendo sent this to the Japanese Platinum members of Club Nintendo. It was the only way to get it. So, and I got one.
It's gorgeous.
It's really, really nice. I don't even want to take it out of the package. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's so pristine, and it was never taken out of the package. I mean, the thing's all sealed up. So I'm like, I don't want to be the one that breaks it open.
You don't fingerprints on it.
Yeah, I don't want to do nothing to it. So it's really cool. So I got that. That was pretty awesome. I got some really cool stuff. So I'm geeking out about Christmas, and So now let's move on to what we're playing. And Toby, you're up. What are you playing?
Well, I've been playing a few things, mainly, which you're gonna love me for it. I've started playing Shovel Knight.
Oh yes, I do love you for it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yacht Club will love you for it too.
So I got it on PlayStation 4, and it's just brilliant. Like, it's kind of like, because I've been hearing people all sort of say how much like they love it and how good it is for, like, all year, and I've been like putting it off, and so I finally got it, and it's just addictive. It really is, like, because you go in and the levels are so old school, and it's not an easy game, but it's not like too hardcore difficult either. It took me a little while to get used to the speed that he moves at, because after playing Mario is so fast moving, and that Shovel Knight moves at his own pace. But I was also saying.
So you never played a Mega Man game?
No, exactly.
If you played Mega Man, then this would just, the feel would come right away with it. I feel anyway.
The thing I love about it is how every sort of level has its own theme and art style, and there's so many secrets to find, and you feel clever for like digging at the walls and getting all the secrets, and and no matter like how many times I die on it, I always just want to continue, and because when you die, you lose your gold that you're picking up, and you've got those money bags floating in the sky, and you've got to go and get them back, and you just want to get past that bit or beat that character that killed you. So.
What games does it remind you of?
Well, obviously, it's a lot of games in one. It's very much Duck Hunt not Duck Hunt. What's it called? DuckTales.
DuckTales.
In the way that you can like bounce on enemies' head and everything, and I mean, what would you say it's like? Like, I
think the overworld.
Mario 3.
That's Mario 3.
I was going to say that as well.
I think the towns is Zelda 2.
Yeah, Zelda 2.
And then Mega Man and DuckTales for me. I think the music and the art style when you're playing the levels is totally Mega Man. And then with the combat, you got your DuckTales mixed in there. And then, like I said, the overworld is throwback to Mario 3. I think the surprises, like the hidden stuff in the walls, that's an homage to Mario.
And Castlevania with the chicken and stuff in the walls.
Yeah. So there's really cool stuff like that. You could tell that just they have a love for retro gaming, and they
Mm.
really dumped it into this game. Soup to
Yeah,
nuts. My feeling
100%.
on it. What else? Are you playing anything else? What else you got?
So I started playing Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Mm-hmm.
My first impressions of it, it's a little slow going, and
Yeah.
because there's like, you get the intro cutscene, and then you've made your character, but then like they feel the need to tell you the story that you've just watched the cutscene for,
Yeah.
and it's like, yeah, but I literally saw the cutscene play out a minute ago, and you're explaining it to me in words, and it's like, I know this.
Yeah.
And then after that, you can like, there's a little bit of gameplay between that bit and the get into the city.
Yeah.
And that was cool, like running around, getting used to the controls. Like the speed of it's really cool, and the way you can jump really high if you're sprinting.
Oh yeah.
And like the battle system is very similar to Xenoblade Chronicles 3D.
Yeah.
It's got different elements to it, and it is going to take me a little while to get used to all the symbols again, because they're a little bit different. All the text is a little bit smaller and stuff. But it's a beautiful game, but then when you get to the city, there's another like 40 minutes of tutorial, being given.
That tutorial to me was just like, come on, let me get out there and start doing stuff.
Yeah.
But once I'm a little further than you, we discussed this before the show, and once you got about 30 minutes to go. Once you get to that point, you're gonna love the game. You are gonna love it, and that's how I feel. Like it's starting to get its claws into me, and I'm really, really starting to enjoy it. I think I'm at 4 or 5 hours, maybe. I put some time into it this morning. This morning, I've just been grinding, because the one thing I already don't like about the game is I started a mission, and it was to go find somebody, and I found the guy, and then the guy's like, "Hey, go find my little transponder thing." And I go over and find the transponder, and here's 2 gigantic enemies sleeping next to it. And every time I get close to it, they wake up and attack me. And they're like level 36, and I'm like level 10.
Yeah.
So I'm like, now I got to go grind to get up to level 36 and then go back and try to beat them. So when I shut it off, I'm at level 12. I just got to level 12. So it's going to take a while. And it frustrates me because at least with Xenoblade Chronicles on the 3DS, I didn't have to take on missions. Like, they would get put into my log, but if I didn't touch them, I didn't touch them. I could just go off and do my thing. I'm going to try to do that when I go back on later on, and just try to not have to take on, and see what it does. If it does let me just keep adding to them, then that's fine. And then when I get up to level 36, I'll go back. But
I was reading online an article of like 25 things you should know before playing Xenoblade X, and one of those things was there's like 3 or 4 different types of mission that you can take, and like one type you can take, but like you can't cancel out of, like you're stuck in that mission. And there's like other types where you can have like up to 20 at a time or something like
one of them.
Yeah. So, but in Xenoblade Chronicles, like the original one, you could just have as many as you liked in the background, and they just like, you could even just forget about them, and then you'd be running around, pick something up, and it'd be like, oh, you completed this mission. So
yeah. Anything else you're playing at the moment?
Just a little bit more Steamworld Heist here and there. I think I'm finally at the final mission.
Okay.
I'm about 17 hours in.
You're pretty close.
Yes.
Pretty close to the end.
I mean, the last. I'm pretty sure it's the last mission. It's right near the moon at the end, and it's like a 4-star mission. There's only 4 stars left in that area of the game.
Yeah. That's probably it.
Yeah.
That's a good level. That's a good one. Myself, I am, because I picked up a bunch of games for Christmas, so I'm really diving into stuff.
I couldn't believe how many games you got for Christmas.
Holy cow, dude. And I got more. That was just a few. I got more later on that night. Xenoblade Chronicles X. I actually got the special edition one with the soundtrack and the art book. It's awesome. I was so happy to get that. I've been playing Minecraft story mode, which it's not great, but I just started playing it, so you kind of, it's cool because it's giving Minecraft like a story, and I like the story, but anybody that's played Minecraft knows that there is no real story to Minecraft. So when you're playing it, it's just like, is this really, where it needs to be? I don't know, but it's really good. I'm enjoying it.
Speaking of Telltale, I actually finished Game of Thrones.
Oh, did you? I got that.
Yeah.
I bought that.
So I think it ended really well, and it's definitely left it open for another season. So I'm hoping they'll continue it.
When Sony had their sale a couple weeks ago, I bought that, and I bought the Tales of Borderlands for $5 each.
Wow,
so
good price.
Yeah, I figured, what the heck? And it was a season pass. I wasn't buying just one episode. I was buying the whole thing.
Yeah,
so I was like, that's perfect for me. Still playing a little SteamWorld Heist. Not really. Now I'm kind of getting pulled into different directions, but I put 35 hours into that game. So I got my money's worth out of that game. And that's a game I know I'll go back to, when everything kind of slows down with Xenoblade and all that stuff. But right now I'm just loving Xenoblade. Like that's definitely also. And then I'm playing Splatoon as well. Always playing Splatoon. Last night, myself, Tony, our nephew, Andrew, who just got a Wii U for Christmas. Sorry. Our nephew Andrew just got a Wii U for Christmas, and Mark, the four of us were playing last night, and we opened up a Facebook chat just with the four of us, so we were chatting in between the matches and stuff, and it was a lot of fun, man. It's funny how close in level play me and Mark are. Like, we score the same exact points every single match. Like, we're off by like maybe 20 points. One person's like 20 points ahead of the other one. It is, and I know he's really been playing a lot lately, so it's kind of cool to get in there and get that going. So the plan for this episode is we're going to do our game of the year picks finally. But before we get into that, we kind of wanted to talk about one other thing. And that was basically Minecraft. So prior to Minecraft launching on the Wii U, all you heard was a lot of complaints from people saying that, why is it coming now? Who cares about it? It costs more money. Nobody's going to buy it. Just a lot of negativity surrounding it.
People were disappointed because Nintendo said we've got a big announcement to make on Monday.
Yeah.
And then they announced Minecraft, and everyone's like, what? That was the big announcement? Like, who cares about that?
Yeah, like they were brushing it under the rug. Like it didn't mean anything. And I know myself and you were like, this is big. You know what I mean? Like, this is a big game. And
especially for Nintendo.
Yeah. And everybody's like, no. It's seen its time and all that. It's number one. It's the number one bestseller in the eShop right now. It's number 9 all time in Japan right now. You're talking about games that have been out for years, and it's already number 9 of the all time on the Japan list. That's huge. So I think the next one to get to number 8, it needs a leapfrog, is NES Remix. So once it gets more than that, then it'll be moved up to number 8. I think without a doubt, it's going to become one of the all time best sellers on the Wii U.
100%, yeah.
I've been playing it. I love it. I actually started using I believe it's called the Natural Texture Pack, which makes it look so realistic. It's not even funny. Like, the graphics are just so much better than the original Minecraft. And it takes a little adjusting to get used to when you're mining, what you're mining. But that only takes you about an hour. Once you start to get a feel for it, you're like, oh, okay, there's coal, and oh, there's iron, and you got it, and you just go to it. But the sun's actually a circle, and it's a beautiful game. It really is.
Yeah, and it's interesting the way that a texture pack can change the way you design your houses and stuff.
Oh yeah,
because certain blocks just look so different that you put them in places you wouldn't have put them before, and like you're using like different materials to make your house look cool.
And Toby, the boxes, the storage boxes, they look gorgeous. Like, they actually look like wood with the metal rivets and design on it. And then when you open them up, there's a red velvet backing on it and stuff. Like, it's really, even the furnace and the crafting block just looks so much better. Like, it's really, really awesome.
And that did that come with built into the Wii U version?
That one came built in. I did buy a couple of extra ones. Like, I bought the plastic one. I didn't like that much because that was supposed to make everything look kind of shiny. I just didn't like the feel of it when I started playing it. And then I think I bought the cartoon pack as well. But this has me excited for, because you know it's coming. You know that a Mario or a Zelda texture pack is coming. There is no doubt about it, because they've already said we are working with Nintendo to come up with some Nintendo exclusive content for the Wii U. And when that hits,
you know what? Yeah, that is what would get me to buy it again, because I've got it on PlayStation 4 and PC.
Yeah.
And, you know, because it is, like, for all intents and purposes, the same game as it is on PS4, really. The world's a little smaller, but other than that, it's the same. But if they had like some sort of amiibo support or the Nintendo themed texture packs or character skins, then I think that would make me want to get it on Wii U as well. So.
If they just do a Zelda, that's all they got to do. They don't have to do Mario. If they just give me or an Animal Crossing, I couldn't imagine, like, the trees and stuff. Like, it would be awesome. If they did Animal Crossing or Zelda, I'll be through the roof. And I've already got the game, so it doesn't matter to me. And I did pay the extra money, but it does give you a lot of exclusive content right off Jump Street. Like, a lot of the stuff that was DLC and a lot of the other stuff.
Well, it's not exclusive, but it is.
Well, what I mean by exclusive is it's exclusive that's the wrong word. They just gave you a lot of DLC stuff that was at one time you had to buy, and you are paying for it, essentially. It's not like they're giving it to you for free, but they're just giving you. The $30 isn't just the regular bare basics. It's like you're getting a little bit more. But I'm really happy about that. Minecraft is doing well, and I hope that it does continue to do well. Yeah. And it just opens it up that we're going to probably see it on NX when NX comes.
Yeah, and it's interesting that you see a lot of people saying that they don't like it because it hasn't got the touchscreen controls, like moving inventory items around with the stylus. And you know, I can see that being a cool feature that they could add later on, but there's already like shortcuts where you can grab all of the items or half the items at a time, and you know, and especially when it comes to crafting, because in the console versions you look for the item that you want and you click it and you craft it. Whereas in the PC version, you're not given anything like that, you know, unless they've changed it since I played it last. But you had to put in the individual items in like a 3x3 grid. In the right order, in the right amounts to get the items that you wanted, and it was just fiddly.
That's how Minecraft Story is. Minecraft Story is when you go to craft, it flips over, and then you got to put the stick where the stick goes, and you need to put the stones where the stones go to make it a sword.
Yeah, so
it's 3x3, and you can't. It isn't just like, hey, I want to make this sword, and I'm going to use this, and boom.
Yeah,
you know? and that's what's nice about. But the other thing too is, like, it's not like the Wii U is an inferior one. It's the same as you're going to get on the PS4. It's the same as you're going to get on the Xbox One, and it's just not. The world isn't as big, but it's the same as the PS3, same as the Xbox 360, same as the Vita. You know, it's just not as big as the PS4 and the Xbox One. But I don't need it to be as big. Like that one day when you and I were like just flying, dude, we were flying forever, and the world wasn't ending.
No,
and it was like,
and okay, you know what?
Am I ever going to really get out this far?
It was like too big, because there was parts like I built a whole castle, and then Bobby spawned into my world, and I went to find him, but then I got lost and I couldn't find my castle. We was like flying around the world for like half an hour looking for my castle. Yeah. And it was like, this is just too big.
It is too, and you know what? It's very overwhelming when you look at something the size of PS4, because it's like, I know that I'm never going to go out to that stuff. Like, because you got to think about it. Every time you move away from your homeland and you go out, you need to start over again. You know, you can bring some supplies with you to make it quicker than the original time, but you need to go out there. You need to start mining and finding stuff and resources, because if you get too far away, it's too far of a travel to go back and get your resources back at your home base, per se. So, like, anytime that I've played the PS4, like, I go out really far, and I'm dropping candles the whole way there, so I know how to get back if I have to get back, which is only beneficial if it's nighttime. It doesn't really benefit you.
No.
But you get out there and it's like, okay, here's all my stuff, and then we get going, and it is what it is. But I'm liking the Wii U so far. I really am, and there was people complaining about, oh, well, you can only play 2-player with the Pro controller.
Well, I did read some third-party controllers work as well.
Yeah, but it's like they wanted to use the Wiimote in the classic. Like, come on, dude. Like, really? Like, you've had the Wii U for how many years now, and you haven't bought a Pro controller?
A Pro controller, that's a must-buy for Wii U anyway.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Dude, it feels so good in your hands. It is so comfortable.
And the battery life is like 80 hours. It's
insane. I have mine off the charger. I don't even charge mine. I have 2 of them. I have 3. One's up here that Tony uses, and then I have 2 downstairs. And I use the one stays plugged in for a week or so, and then I unplug it because I know it's juiced. And I'll play the other one until it runs out, and then I'll go plug it in, and it's like weeks.
Exactly. I was about to say, since I got my Wii U with the Pro controller, I must have charged it 4 or 5 times since 2012, and it's like, Jesus.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
So, okay, so now we're going to move into our Game of the Year pick. The way we're going to do it is this. We're going to give our top 3 games. The number 1 spot is going to earn 30 points. The second place spot is going to earn 20 points. The third place spot is going to earn 15 points. Allan, who isn't here, unfortunately has an ear infection, and he's like all disoriented and stuff. He came on for a few minutes, and we talked, and we just said, hey, go get meds, do what you got to do, don't worry about it. But he gave us his picks. So we'll read Allan's picks first, and then we'll go from there.
Why don't we do 3?
We'll do 3, 2, 1. Yeah, we'll do 3, 2, 1. So Allan's number 3 pick was The Witcher 3. Neither you or I have played that game, but we know, I mean, obviously it's critically acclaimed. A lot of people love it. I know Matt South in the group, the Geek Guru group, he loves this game. He was very excited when it won Game of the Year.
A lot of places gave it Game of the Year, I think.
Yeah. It might be something I get into next year. I just don't, at this point, have the time to dive into another huge game.
Yeah, there's been a lot of big games this year like that.
Huge games, man. It's just crazy. It's funny because it just seems like so many games came out this year, and they're all big open world games. And it's like, man, could you imagine if 1 or 2 of them would have just said, we're coming out in 2016. We're not gonna do it this year. And they would have owned 2016 easily. But they all came out it feels like they all came out like in the summer and fall. Like everything just hit all at once. So Witcher 3 for Allan. Toby, what's your number 3 game?
Is Until Dawn.
Okay.
And I picked that because it was I think that's actually one of the only games I finished 100% this year, from start to finish. And it was a really good experience because I had my friends round. It was my 2 friends, Karina and me, and we all sat round and in the dark over a few nights, and we played through it. And it was kind of like going to a movie together, but you got to make the choices for the characters yourself, and we all had an input, and it was just a fun group experience, and it was just really good. The graphics were amazing, the story was really good for the majority of it. Towards the end, I think it trailed off a bit for us. It went a bit supernatural, but it was still good, and I just think it was a unique experience. I've never played a game quite like it. But yeah, so that's my number 3.
It's a good number 3. I know a lot of people love that game as well. So
it kind of came out of nowhere, really.
Yeah, it did. It just popped up, and everybody was like, "Oh, I gotta get it." And myself, I didn't get it. I'm not really a big horror fan.
It is pretty scary.
Yeah, stuff like that. I tried Fatal Frame this year, and I was like, no. I put it 15 minutes. I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna work for me. And I shut it down. My number 3 game was Arkham Knight. I went back and forth with this game for a very long time. Shouldn't make my list at all. When I first left the game, I didn't even. If you remember when we did our midway point, like our game of the year stuff, I didn't even have it on my list. Mark had it on his list, and I felt like there was a couple things that held it back for me. That's why it's not my number one. But as a Batman fan, it did, man. It played right to my heart. It gave me a lot of stuff that I really enjoyed. The ending, I didn't like that the true ending was locked behind all the Riddler missions. I felt like that was like a slap in the face a little bit, just because there's so many Riddler missions and it's just monotonous. It's just like, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, I beat the game. Show me some good stuff. If you want to do something else with that, that's fine. But I don't know. It felt a little disingenuous to me that the way they handled the very true ending of the game.
Now, what do you mean by? Can you say what you mean by true ending without spoiling it?
What it is I think I can. What I mean is, like, when you obviously one of the protagonists is a scarecrow in the game, and when you finally stop the scarecrow and you 100% his section, because what it is when you go into the missions, it's a circle, and there's like all these different characters around the circle, and that's their missions. So it does give the true feel of being Batman, because when you read a Batman comic, like, a lot of times, like, he's going after one major character, but he's spawning off and going after all these little trouble areas.
Yeah.
So Scarecrow is the main character. And when you complete the Scarecrow story, it's not even, Batman says, we're going to do the Nightfall protocol, but doesn't complete it. And I didn't even watch. I went on YouTube and watched the true ending. And after you can 100% the game, he does the Nightfall protocol, and there's all this stuff that takes place and all that happens after. So it was a little frustrating for me who put in, I put like 40, 50 hours into that game, and it was like, really, man? Like, I can't even watch the full. And I was going to try to platinum it, but there was just a lot of frustrating parts that, like, all the Batmobile stuff, like, that they forced you to do. Like, it was like, okay, this is cool, but it's just, I like driving a Batmobile. I didn't like when I had to drive the Batmobile.
Yeah. It's like in GTA, if you've got a mission where you have to be in a car and you might want to grab a plane or a helicopter instead, but no, you've got to be in the car. You've got to towel somebody. And it's like,
yeah. So it's frustrating. Okay, so Allan's number two is Splatoon. So I'm not really going to discuss much at this point because we'll talk about it more, I'm sure, in a little bit. But yeah, so Allan's number two.
That was a shock to me because I wasn't sure if Allan had played it that much.
Yeah, I knew he played it, but I didn't think he liked it as much to put it on his top 3 list. Yeah. But I do know that he started to come into it a little bit more recently and was starting to play it a little bit more again.
Yeah.
So,
I think because for me, Splatoon is a game that I pre-ordered mainly because I wanted the squid amiibo that came with it. but like what I played of it, I enjoyed, but I just never got around to putting a lot of time into it. And I can see that it's a really good game. It's one of the best looking games this year, I think. Like, it's so colourful.
Yeah.
It's just, the music is great in it, but because I just didn't put hardly any time into it, then I couldn't justify putting it anywhere near my list.
It's a shame too. You need to play with me a little bit. I think you would.
Yeah.
If you played with me a little bit, I think you would really, really enjoy it more.
Yeah.
What is your number 2 game?
So this was fighting for the number 1 spot. It's very close to my number 1, but I had to put Super Mario Maker as my number 2 place. And the reason I did that is because I've kind of got this thing where like I absolutely love watching people play Mario Maker. It's my favorite thing, my favorite game to watch on YouTube. There's a specific guy I love to watch called Patrick Klepek. He does these like hardcore levels from other media places like Giant Bomb and stuff. And it's just so entertaining to watch him learn these levels and beat them and struggle with them over time. And every level is different. And playing people's levels myself, a lot of the time, they're good levels, but then at the same time, a lot of the time they're not good levels because it's such a community-led game that when you go online, like the only thing you can do is play other people's levels, and it is hit or miss. Like, you know, like there's certain types of levels that you'll find, like the don't touch anything levels, which are all fine and dandy, but they get boring. And then you've got ultra hardcore levels with 0.27% completion, and those are great if you're into that. But if you're just a casual Mario player, then it can get a bit frustrating. And then you get levels, you get good, like actual levels that would feel like they're from an actual Mario game. They're the perfect type of level, I think, but they're kind of hard to find. There's no real way to search for that, even with the new bookmark system that they've got, the new website, and that you can't just say, I want a real Mario level. You can narrow it down by how easy it is to complete, but that's about it, really. So, you know, there's positives and negatives to it, and I think it fits just right in my number 2 space.
It's good. Myself, I basically, when we first got that game, I was putting so many hours into that game. I think I got 40 or 50 hours in. But my thing is it just doesn't hold up. You know, when you start playing them community levels and they're just garbage. And then I went back a couple weeks ago and I started to play again, and I spent 30 minutes playing community levels, and I was like, I'm done. Like you said, it's a bunch of don't touch or these crazy insane levels. And it's like, wait, can't we figure out a way to separate all this nonsense into so I can go and pick what I want and find the good classic Mario levels? Like, there's got to be a way for Nintendo to do this, and I just don't know how they can accomplish it, to be honest with you. It's strange. It's but it's still a good game. I'm not taking anything away from the game. I think Nintendo did a really good job with it, and definitely, that you look at, that is basically what Little Big Planet started out to be, and they crushed it compared to Little Big Planet.
100%. Yeah.
They took what Little Big Planet started and got everybody all hyped about, and just said, okay, this is a real level created game.
Yeah, I mean, they've definitely nailed the creation aspect of it. Like, it's so unbelievably easy to make levels and play about the tools, and it's so flexible, but it's sort of so simple at the same time.
I think the problem with the game is that a lot of the stuff that they're adding now should have been there in the beginning. With the midway point flags and all that should have been there from day one.
Yeah,
I think that would have made a lot of these really super hard levels not as hard, at least obtainable. Because even on a Mario game, you'll hit hard levels, but it feels like once you hit that midway point, it's like, whew, okay, now let's go again. And a lot of times when you're struggling on a Mario level, you go, okay, I need to get to the midway point. Then I can take a deep breath, and then I can tackle the second half of the course. So,
and I still feel that there's a lot of things they can add to it still, and I'm hoping that they'll continue to add to it, like Splatoon. They'll keep updating it, whether it's paid DLC or not. I think that they could, they could add things like,
they can definitely add. I think that anything they add should be more or less cosmetic things, and cool things like the donut rings and all that. That's cool, and I like that they're adding that stuff. I just feel like the midway, out of all the stuff that they put out so far, that midway flag, that should have been day one.
Yeah.
But the rest of the stuff, I'm all for it. Like, keep bringing it.
Other people were suggesting the star coins, from the new Super Mario Bros. Games. And I think that would give people more incentive to explore your level a bit more and try and find the secrets. Because at the moment, a lot of the time, you go and explore a level, you might find a one-up mushroom. But one-up mushrooms are kind of meaningless, even in the 100 Mario Maker challenge, so. And
if they did the star coins and just said, like, hey, if you reach over a certain amount, we'll do something. Like, maybe you get, I don't know. There could be many things that they could do to make people go, like, hey, I got to get these star coins. Like, I'm on this level, and I'm going to get these star coins. So,
maybe, like, you'd have, it would affect your reputation or something. Like, you could have a rep score based on how many star coins you get.
It's true. My number 2 game, like you, I kind of went back and forth with this, but I landed on SteamWorld Heist being my number 2 game of the year. That game to me was so well done, so much fun. I just felt like Image and Form nailed it with this game. Like they gave me something that I wasn't looking for. You know, I've said it many a times. Like when they announced this game, I was like, why? Why do I want this? Why are you doing this? I want SteamWorld Dig 2. I don't want this game. I want Dig 2. And, you know, in hindsight, they gave me what I didn't know. They did what Nintendo used to do. You know, they gave you that thing that you wanted that you didn't know you wanted. And I love that for it. And I love the game for it. And the art is awesome. I find myself loving collecting hats and all that stuff. So it's a really, really good game. Allan's number one game is Metal Gear Solid 5. I did play this one. I put a lot of time into this one. The reason why, and it's not on my list, so I'm just going to say that right from the get-go. It's not on my list. The reason why it's not on my list is I felt like the game was good. You were going along. You beat Chapter 1, and then the difficulty spike goes from here to way up here. And it was like, man, if you would have just slowly gotten more difficult, it would have been, you know, I expected a little bit more difficulty. Like I went back, because a lot of the levels you do after the first chapter are repetitive levels. But they're so much harder. Like you'll literally go up against these guards and you'll have to go in a level where they're not supposed to see you at all. And it's like, okay, you've got 4 guards. They're all looking in all the proper directions, and I can't move. If I move, I get spotted. The mission's over immediately. And then you could like make your way through and get really far into the level and get spotted, and boom, the level's over. And it's like stuff like that was like, okay, this is ridiculous, you know. And then even when there was levels where you were allowed to shoot people, they were so armored up that you could shoot them and you didn't touch them. You didn't even hurt them. And it was like they're shooting you one time and you're dead. And you're hitting them and they're like, just keep coming. And it's like, this is insane. Like, it's like, this isn't even fun anymore, you know? And so it just got to be a little bit monotonous for me. And me and Allan both, like when we got to a certain section, we weren't even sure if we beat the game. Like we weren't even sure if like, is that the ending or is that not the ending? It seems off. And then we found out later that Konami hid stuff in the game that's behind certain things that the online community has to do. It has to do with nukes. And I was just like, this is ridiculous, man. Like, you should have told people that from the beginning, because here it is if I don't destroy all the nukes on my thing, and I haven't played the game in how many months, so the community can't see the true ending because I didn't destroy all the nukes on my mother base. And it's like, that's stupid. That's dumb, you know? And so, I don't know. What about you? What is your number one game?
My number one game is SteamWorld Heist. And the reason it's my number one game is because I absolutely love turn-based strategy games, especially on handheld, on 3DS. There was another game that was a launch title for 3DS called Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Shadow Wars. And I was looking up the other day, I've put like over 80 hours into that game.
Holy cow.
And like that's like my most played game on 3DS. And SteamWorld Heist just feels like that sort of game, but it's different, obviously. But it's just such a great game because the mechanics in it are just so like simple and fun that there's no like filler or fluff that gets in the way. There's no like weird story like in Metal Gear that you don't really know about, like a community thing or something. It's just simple and everything makes sense and everything's fun. You know, like the way you aim your gun, you've got your laser pointer, or maybe you don't have a laser pointer. You've just got to try and guess where your bullet's going to go, and the robot's hand is moving up and down just enough to make you question your aiming. And slowly they add more layers to the strategy of like adding robots that are shielded unless you blow up a little orb that's floating near them, and different enemies that can start teleporting around and stuff. And it's just like gradually the game gets new layers of strategy to it that you need to overcome. And there's like different types of robots, and they all got their unique skills and abilities, and there's like an RPG leveling up system, and there's different guns and weapons, and you can make your inventory big. It's just everything that I love about a game like that is in this game. And out of all the games I played this year, it's probably got the least amount of flaws that I can point out. And it's just, every time I play it, it's a joy to play. So that's why it's my number one.
I can't argue with anything. And the one thing that you said that truly hits with me is it feels more skill based than typical. Like Fire Emblem, I go in, I pick my spot, and I just start clicking buttons. Codename Steam, same thing. I just kind of went into certain areas and I just said I wanted to shoot and I shot. With this, because of the angle and all that stuff, it, with the hands moving just ever so slightly, just enough, and especially even with Piper when you put the scope on her, and it's always that little bit. So it feels like it's like more skilled. It's definitely more skill based than your typical real-time strategy game, and that I liked about it. Like I felt like when I did something, there was a couple times like I would kill somebody and it was like real close, intense battle, and I'd be like, yes, like I'd actually fist pump a couple times just because I was like, oh my god, I just did this and I didn't think I was going to be able to. So yeah, you had a lot of those moments that were just like,
and you feel like everything you do in that game you're rewarded for. If you miss a headshot, you can shoot that hat off, and it's like, I want that hat. You go pick it up.
Yeah.
Or, even like mistakes, like your bullet might ricochet, but then you might end up killing 2 other robots you weren't expecting because your bullet's bouncing around the room. Yeah. And it's just, and when you collect the treasure as well, you got the little star rating system. If you get the big treasure, then you get an extra star. Or if you complete the level with all of your characters remaining, you'll get a star. And, they go towards your reputation. Yeah. It really encourages replayability that way as well.
I'm really looking forward to like when we finally get it on like PS4, because I've really started to enjoy collecting trophies. I don't really go after a lot of platinums, but I feel like sometimes when you look at the trophy list, it makes you want to try to do things that you typically wouldn't even think of doing.
Yes.
And it, for the Nintendo fan that always goes, oh, this is stupid, why do you need this? Because you do it with NES Remix. Nintendo basically created a game that said to you, like, hey, you need to 3-star these levels or rainbow star these levels, and you're going to do something crazy with Mario that you never thought you were going to do before. Yeah. And it was like little tricks and stuff that we did anyway growing up, just to try to be like, because you got so bored with the game, you just started trying stupid stuff.
Yeah.
It's the same philosophy, and that's what I find that the trophies kind of do for me. Like I went back to Dig, and I crushed Dig over and over and over again. And I was like, when I finally got it on the PS4, and I saw the trophy list, I was like, hey, let me try to do some of this stuff that it's saying that I should do to get this trophy that I typically wouldn't have done, And it's cool because it makes you go after stuff that you typically would just be like ignore and to go to 100% the game. So okay, so my number one game is Splatoon. And for me, ever since this game hit, it's been a blast for me. I played a lot with the Geek Guru group community on the Facebook group. We put many hours in it together. I stopped playing for a very long time. And I think what made this my number one game was I picked it back up again, and I like fell instantly back in love with it. And I feel like this game is like SteamWorld Heist for me, where they gave me a game that I didn't think I wanted. I remember when this was announced at E3 last year, I was like, this is stupid. What the heck do I care about a shooter game, a squid, and paint? I could care less about this game. It is dumb. And here I am, a year and a half later, in love with this game, and put in an easy 160 hours into this game. Like, really, truly love all the additions they do. And the crazy thing is, like, when you look at how the game came shipped and what the game is now, it's 2 drastically different games per se. Not saying that they changed the way you play the game or anything like that. It's still all that. It's just that they've given you more maps. They've given you more weapons, more clothes, more gear, all that stuff. The Splatfests are awesome. The only thing I don't like about the Splatfest is you can't play with your friends. So it's basically a day that you're shutting off the regular game and you're just playing individually, and you're trying to accumulate as many points as you can, and you're trying to win as many points or many games and matches as you can in order to take things, and earn these clamshells later on. The single player I felt like was a little lacking. It was fun. Don't get me wrong. It taught me a lot of skills that I've brought over to the multiplayer game. I just wish that they would have given me a little bit more with the multiplayer or with the single player, because I really enjoyed some of the levels. I found myself thinking and saying many times, I even said this to Allan, like it felt like it was Galaxy 3. And the team that made Splatoon was on Galaxy 1 and 2. So to get that vibe totally made sense to me. But there was a lot of levels that when you were going through, it was like, oh my God, this is like Galaxy 3. This is awesome. So for me, it was Splatoon, hands down. I felt like, especially with as many hours as I put into it, it's like if I could play a game for this many hours and still love the game, got to say something about the game. It's got to wholeheartedly mean something to me that, for me, the year before it was Mario Kart. Mario Kart 8, I put 150 hours in, never even blinked an eye. Like, every time I get DLC packs, I went back to it. I fell in love with it all over again. So this is all kind of the same thing. Like, when we get new maps, I go back, I try them, and it's like, it's funny. It's like you're analyzing the maps. You're looking at them and going, okay, where can I, I have a strategy that I always typically play. And, when I'm doing that on a new map, I'm like, okay, this don't work. I got to go this way. And then I go, okay, that don't work. Maybe if I try this. And, so you start to analyze the maps and break them down. And once I break it down to the point where I can do my strategy, that map is so much fun for me. And it probably takes me an hour or two to break a map down and to really get doing what I want to do. And it's a lot of fun. So at this point, we have a tie, Toby.
Yeah, we do.
And at this point, we need to figure out how we're going to break this tie. So right now, Splatoon is sitting at 50 points. SteamWorld Heist is sitting at 50 points. And we need to come up with a game of the year. So
I was wondering, maybe we should put it out to the Geek Guru community and get them to vote one or the other.
Okay, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to cheap out. We're not going to actually physically pick a game of the year contender.
The thing is, like,
winner, we have the contenders.
You've played both Heist and Splatoon a lot.
Yes,
but I've only played Heist a lot. I haven't played a lot of Splatoon, so I wouldn't like to have a debate about it because I don't think I could talk about Splatoon. You
can't really defend properly, or you can't argue against it properly. Okay, so that's what we'll do. We are going to. We're losers. We can't pick. So we're going to honestly, originally what we planned on doing was doing a ballot with the Geek Guru group and letting them bring a top 3 in, and we would include those points as well. I don't know that we would have changed much, honestly. Maybe. So what we're going to do is I'm going to open a pool up for the week. And I am going to. So if you're listening to this on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, and you'd like to be involved in this and vote in this, just go to Facebook.com, search the Geek Gurus, or you can just go to Facebook.com/the Geek Gurus. It's our Facebook group. Actually, I think it's Facebook.com/groups/the Geek Gurus. Go to there. You can check it. You can join. We'll add you to the group, and then you can go vote. I'm going to pin the post. So that way everybody can go in there and they can vote what they want. We're just going to put Splatoon, SteamWorld Heist. Vote. I'm going to cut the voting off probably sometime before we do this podcast next week. And then we will announce the winner, and there'll be all kinds of fanfare and people be excited that we actually announced them as the winner. And
and then we can send Imogen Form their prize.
Reggie, be ready. Reggie, you're going to get a prize. Don't worry about it, buddy. Just because I love you, Reggie, that's what I'm going to give it to you. It's going to be interesting. Let's put it that way. And you know what? For me personally, if either one of these two games win, I'm happy because I love both games. I
think they're both deserving.
I went back and forth with putting SteamWorld Heist in the number one spot, and then Splatoon, and mine just came down to how many hours I put into the one.
Mm-hmm.
SteamWorld Heist isn't out as long, so it couldn't put out that many hours. But the main problem was for me was, when I hit my 35 hours, and I'm like, okay, I've had enough, and I can move on to the next game. And with Splatoon, it still pulls me in, still pulls. So that's what was my determining factor.
I'm wondering, if 20 or 30 hours into Xenoblade, we're going to be wishing that it came out earlier in the year so that we could have put that on the list.
And I know that a lot of people are like, well, it's been out for a month, but I just got it for Christmas. You just started messing with it for Christmas because you were very busy with work. Yeah. Allan just got it for Christmas. That was the other thing that was like, I want to put some time into it. But unfortunately, because of the slow start, I wasn't able to go, oh, this is definitely a contender. This needs to move in the list for me. It's definitely a great game, but unfortunately, it's timing.
I'm sure we'll be talking about it for the next few weeks at least.
If they would have put this game out in November 21st, or November 20th, that slot that was originally for Star Fox, and then that amazing tennis game got put in there instead, I think we'd be talking a different tune right now, because that would have given us all more time, and I definitely would have started playing it. I think the one thing that for me that would never make a game of the year for me was I miss Shulk. I miss that storyline driven game. Which I feel like they nailed it with the original Xenoblade Chronicles. And for all I know, Shulk could be dead. I never even finished the game, so I don't know. But I just felt like they didn't, they didn't go in a similar direction with here's the story, go. It's kind of it feels similar to Fallout to me, where it's go do whatever you want to do, knock yourself out, go out there and you can get lost in side missions that you don't stick to the main storyline, so we'll see. So that is all. Thank you guys for listening to us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Stitcher, if that's how you did. Thank you for watching us on YouTube, if that's how you watched us or saw us or heard us. I am Bobby the Geek Guru. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, at the Geek Gurus. Toby here. You can follow him at Toby's_take, also at married_gamers. And Allan is at Allan_Paxton. That is all. Peace, mother.
Bye. Vote heist.